Hey, what's up, guys? Little Man's Big Opinion here. Today's video is going to be short and simple. It is currently about 10 o'clock and it's 30 degrees outside. Feels like, no, it's updating. It is 34 right now and feels like 28. The low tonight is 27 and the average wind speed is going to be between 10 and 15. We're probably getting our last good cold front for where I live. Um, so that's Tuesday night. Wednesday night, it's supposed to be 17, and it's also raining a little bit. So, as a prepper, there are some things that I need to make sure are in place, and then for the most part, you just sit around and wait to see if things happen. Like I have tea that I made, haven't put it in the fridge yet because I want it to still be warm. Because I think that helps out in the cold. So, that's what we're going to discuss today in today's video. If you have anything else you want to add, leave it in the comment section down below. And remember to share the channel with your friends and family members, and like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. The overall simplest way to deal with the cold is going to be shelter. For most of you, I think that's going to be fairly simple. Your home, and I have tested this at least with my house's insulation, your home is going to stay anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees warmer than outside. Depending on how long it's cold, maybe it might get closer to outside. But I'm not dealing with any of the wind speeds that are going on outside right now. I also still have power, and we're on, natural gas heating, so it's a comfortable 65, 66 in the house right now. And I say that because we typically don't set, our heater. We have a heater going for the plants right now just to make sure that they stay alive. But shelter and layer, that is going to be the name of the game. If you don't have power in your home and you're having to rely off of some backup source, whether it's propane, a generator, a fireplace, you've got a battery system for solar. Unless you just have bukus of money and have stored, you know, it comes down to bukus of money, you shouldn't be trying to power your entire house. I can tell you our little bitty space heater that we have, that's maybe a 500-watt space heater, can sweat us out of our bedroom. And so a lot of this winter, and that's how our bills have been as low as they are, is we heat the bedroom, to a comfortable temperature, and we turn the heater off, and the rest of the house just stays, at average temperature. But layers, you can set a tent up inside your living room. That way you're only trying to warm up that small of an area. You can blanket off and insulate a small portion of your house. So, like for us, excuse me, we can shut a door and we can hang blankets from the rafters that we have over here, and we could make that a sauna, because that fireplace, warming up a 180, maybe 220 square foot area, is not going to take very long. We would be sweating bullets. That's typically why, we got the door here to go outside, and we've got a door on the other side of the kitchen. We can just shut that off. Yes, we're warming up our breakfast nook in our kitchen, but so, like, I isolate what you're planning on warming up. And then the layering, if you don't have any way of warming up the house, whether it's wood, solar, propane, any of that kind of stuff, then that's where layers are going to be your best friend. Right now I just have a t-shirt and a hoodie on and I feel completely comfortable. If I was outside in the wind, then I've got a couple of other jackets that have a different type of outer shell that stops the wind from just running right through your clothing. So like this, if the wind speed is higher than like 5 miles an hour, I'm gonna get all of that chill going right through it. It's a nice insulating layer, but not a good top layer. It's also not going to be any water resistant at all. So layering is super important. Doubling up on your socks, wearing a pair of long johns underneath your pants, wearing regular pants and putting on frog togs. I mean, that right, you could wear regular clothes and put frog togs on, and as long as it's not just, absolutely freezing, you're probably going to start sweating and something like that. But there are plenty of people that have survived very bad conditions because they layered. People back in the old day would layer with newspaper and straw. They would make a pair of shoes and they would use straw as insulation. And then it also comes to, just staying warm while you want to sleep, or you're probably hunkered down waiting for the bad thing to pass. When we were living in Corpus during the big ice freeze, we lit our fireplace. We blocked off the upstairs so all the heat wouldn't heat up the upstairs. And we blocked off, our entryway with the bathroom that we had. And then we had every blanket and all of our sleeping bags, and we basically stayed on the couch when I didn't have to go to work, but laying a couple blankets underneath us, laying blankets on top of us, putting the sleeping bag and kind of, because I have a two-person sleeping bag, so unzipping that and putting it on top, and then with the added bonus of having 7 cats and a dog also lay on the couch with you, all of us were plenty warm. Fireplace is roaring. We definitely could have gotten off with less blankets, but it's one of those things where, if you have a sleeping bag that's rated to 32 degrees, that means you can survive at 32. It might not be comfortable. There's not an exact science to it, but wrapping a fleece blanket around your face and around your upper body is going to make it to where maybe you can go down to 28 degrees. Putting your sleeping bag inside of another sleeping bag, so you're adding another layer. That sleeping bag can only be rated down to 50, but that has made it to where you can, stay warmer in that situation. You can survive in a, much colder temperature. Sleeping next to a fire, that's producing heat as well. You're tossing rocks or you're boiling water and putting it into a water bottle and putting that in the bottom of a sleeping bag or inside of a pair of socks. That's going to produce heat that your body doesn't have to, so you can deal with colder temperature. But, between those two things, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer because everyone's situation is different. I'm sitting here mentioning, oh, it's going to be cold at 17 degrees. And I'm playing a video game with a friend of mine in Colorado, and he's like, it's 1. We've got this much snow. It sucks. So, different kinds of cold. The extremes on both ends of the temperature, whether it's hot or cold, is a death sentence for humans. If you are out in the heat for too long, you deal with heat rash, heat stroke, dehydration, all of those sort of things, and it can and will kill you. On the far end, you're dealing with hypothermia, frostbite, your body is shutting down. It's telling itself, what what can I get rid of first that is, not essential for me being alive. And if you're not careful, it can also kill you. So your prepping is going to be different if you live in Utah versus Florida when it comes to the cold. Your prepping is going to be different if you live in the middle of a city, a suburb with half acre backyard, or you've got 5+ acres to work with. All of it's going to be different. I'm getting back in the groove of making videos, so if you have specific questions on that, I can make a quick video talking about it. But it kind of sounds like I'd be a guru if I was telling you how to survive prepping up in Utah on 10+ acres of land, because currently I live in a city. I've got 3/4 of an acre for the whole lot, and that's what we have to work with. I have a bug out location, so I can kind of talk about that, but I don't really want to talk about stuff or show stuff that I'm not somewhat knowledgeable in. So maybe we can get a conversation going where someone asks a question, someone else can answer the question for you, or point you to someone who's got an answer for you. But all that being said, depending on where you live, stay warm. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with friends and family, and I'll catch you in the next one.